Okay. Hey, all you cool cats and kittens out there. My name's Corey Johnson. I'm the Prince Albert Regional Committee Chair and HSE Manager for Flyer Electric. This is my wife, Hailey Kapacila. She's a laboratory aide at the Victoria Hospital and preventer or attempted preventer at me saying dumb things. So thank you for taking the time out of your schedule today to attend the second quarter Prince Albert RSC meeting through the magic series of tubes we call the internet. I'd like to mention that this meeting is being recorded and we'll be posting this on our brand spanking new PA RSC Facebook page. So as a disclaimer, I would urge those who do not wish to have their face in the video to please turn off your webcam and participate through the audio instead. This meeting is presented through Zoom. I'm not an expert on how to use the software by any stretch of the imagination, so if any deficiencies with this video, I ask you please be patient. I'd like to start this meeting with a safety share. I know we can all agree that COVID-19 pandemic has darkened our moods, so my share today, I hope, can lighten the mood and maybe publicly humiliate myself at the same time. With the changing temperatures brings hope and a sense of normality for all of us. Taking summer holidays and getting out to the parks and lakes is always a staple in our summer plans. I take this opportunity to share an event from several years ago. Hailey, our kids, Max and Charlie, and I took a trip up to my aunt and uncle's cabin at McBride Lake. They had given us permission to use an old aluminum boat beside the cabin. I was informed that the motor and the gas tank were in the shed and that the quad and trailer were there to assist moving to the lake. Excitedly, it was the first thing I dove into when we had arrived. Hailey got the kids prepped with their life jackets and raced down to the dock with the dogs to meet her for a boat ride. After everyone was in and ready to go, I started the motor and we were off. It wasn't until about 5 minutes into the trip, big smiles on everyone's having a good time, that the engine died. I pulled on the rope to start it, but no success. Frustrated and annoyed and inventing some brand new combo swear words, the rope broke off inside the coil and there we sat. There was a good while there. It was suggested to the kids to stop asking when we're going to go for a boat ride and that daddy was on a timeout. Paddles? No. Air horn, whistle? No. With all the excitement, I had rushed getting my family into the boat for an amazing experience that I had thrown caution and safety preparedness to the wind. Luckily for us, some water skiers came to our aid and towed us back to shore. But I will never again forget the lesson that I learned that day. Taking that situation and experience into daily work life, I strongly promote preparedness plans in the instance of an emergency. Knowing what emergency numbers to call, is 911 a viable option? What's the response time? Having access to paddles, first aid kits and spill kits to ensure that you're not putting yourself and others into harm's way. Well, now that I've embarrassed myself in front of the Prince Albert and area industry, let's move on. Updates on NAOSH. One meeting was held for the planning committee. Since that time, the COVID-19 social distancing protocols have suspended our event until further notice. An event will be planned in some time in the summer. We're waiting for some further instruction from federal agencies and the World Health Organization. The charity for this year's event was voted in favor of Habitat for Humanity. For those who do not attend our first quarter meeting, this vote was based on the result of a survey that was circulated to all member companies. Facebook page. At our Q4 meeting last year, we discussed introducing a Facebook page to better reach industry on events and on notifications. I'm going to copy a link to the chat of the page so you can simply or else you can simply search Prince Albert RSC on Facebook. The profile picture was made by a local struggling artist. Events like this meeting, NAOSH, summer family days, or whatever we have for the summer, contests, surveys, all will be posted there. Please like the page to receive notification on events. I'll be the admin, so don't worry. I won't spam your inbox. If you do have any questions on upcoming events, feel free to send a message to the page. I'll respond to you and as reasonably practicable. OSA extensions on certificates. With the protocols of social distancing in effect, classroom-based courses such as fall protection, EWP, and confined space have been suspended until further notice. In response to these protocols, OSA, or Energy Safety Canada, has granted an extension to anyone who has an expiry date ranging from January 1st through to September 1st. This means that if you have a renewal for your trading between these dates, your new expiry date will be September the 1st. If you would like a document stating this, I will be attaching in the chat. If you're watching this video at a later date, please message the Facebook page for a copy. With COVID-19, so as of April 21st, from the Johns Hopkins University of Science website, Saskatchewan has 316 confirmed cases of COVID-19. Social distancing is one of the biggest challenges we're facing in our residential, commercial, and industrial sectors, effectively reducing exposure around co-workers when traveling in fleet vehicles to and from sites, and keeping a 2-meter distance of other trades and each other while actively working on a site has proven to be a challenge. At the end of this meeting, I'll be posting resource links to some very helpful documents on maintaining social distancing on site. I would encourage members to access these links to help assist with developing policies within your organizations. Some information that I'll be posting on the chat later on is what to do if social distancing is not possible on site. So with physical distancing is working in proximity of 2 meters to other workers. If physical distancing is not possible when doing work tasks, then you must use control the potential exposure to COVID-19 by doing the following. First, consider whether or not that task is truly essential at that time. Can the task be delayed? Can it be safely done at another way? Can the number of workers involved be reduced? If the task is considered essential and cannot be delayed, then the following procedures are suggested. The work should be completed by workers who are should not be completed by workers who are at a higher risk of complications due to COVID-19. This includes workers over the age of 60, workers with chronic health conditions, including diabetes, heart disease, and lung disease, workers who are immunocompromised. Yes, nailed that word. Only workers who are considered to be in a lower risk of transmitting COVID-19 should complete this work. Using the CDC health screening tool before allowing access to the work site, do not permit workers to work if they meet the following criteria. So if they've had symptoms of COVID-19 in the past 10 days, so like cough, sneeze, sore throat, fever, difficulty breathing, have traveled outside of Canada within the previous 14 days, have been exposed to someone with COVID-19 or share a home with someone who has been exposed to COVID-19. All workers who cannot maintain physical distance of 2 meters should use some form of PPE, including either a N95 or half-face respirator with P100 or P95 filters. Where possible, half-face respirators with cartridges is preferred since they're more protective, and N95 masks are used by the healthcare workers and in really short supply at this time. Disposable nitrile gloves, safety glasses. Workers must be trained on how to properly don, use, and doff PPE, how to properly dispose of or disinfect, inspect for damage, maintenance, and limitations of their PPE. Fit testing must be completed for workers wearing half-mask respirators and or N95 masks. Workers must be clean-shaven when using respirators or masks, and proper disposal of N95 masks and nitrile gloves after use. Proper storage and reusable PPE to ensure no cross-contamination. Okay, I'm sure you're all sick and tired of hearing me talk, so I now invite my better half to speak on some helpful tips to reduce cross-contamination while donning and doffing safety PPE, like gloves, masks, while venturing out into the necessities, to get necessities for your home. Okay, so first we're gonna do gloves.
Hand washing.
Hand washing, sorry. Yeah, I'm done. I'm not talking.
Hand washing. I am a hand auditor at the hospital, so I do teach people how to hand wash properly. Whether you're using warm soapy water or isogel or some type of foam hand sanitizer, you have to follow the 20 seconds for washing with hands in a certain rotation, and then with hand sanitizer it's 15 to 20 seconds. So I will show you the proper way of washing your hands. This is how the WHO recommends everybody wash their hands. So you add your hand sanitizer. Make sure you have enough in your hand that it actually is going to cover all of your hands throughout the entire rotation. You want to rub your palms together first, and then the backs of your hands, and then the fronts of your hands, and intertwining your fingers. And then you want to scrub your knuckles, and then move on to your thumbs, and then onto your fingertips. Now, if you have any excess, you keep rubbing it in. You do not wipe it off on your pants. You do not wipe it on your shirt. You rub it in until it's all gone. If you wipe it off on your pants and shirt, your hands are no longer sanitized. Now, when donning gloves, that's easy. You just put one hand in one and one hand in the other. Now that we have our hand sanitizer, our gloves on, we can put on our face masks. So for hospital or anyone with surgical face masks, there's usually one blue side, one white side. The blue side goes on the out, the white side goes on the in. So you're gonna put it on, put it around your ears, and then you're gonna take the bridge and pinch it onto your nose and kind of flatten this part off onto your face to help prevent you from breathing in any contaminants or any of your breath going out. It's not going to be like an N95, but this also helps when you're wearing safety goggles that you don't fog up. So you need to make sure this is tight on your bridge of your nose and across your face so you're not fogging up. Okay, so taking off your gloves, say you went shopping, you did all that. What you're going to do now is when you go to take your gloves off, you're going to pinch your palm and pull this way, pulling it inside. Now you're gonna take this finger, put it up from the bottom and pull them on the inside. Now all the dirt and crud is on the insides of the gloves. Those can be disposed. Now before you take off your mask, you're gonna wash your hands just in case there's any cross-contamination. And you're gonna follow the same thing. So you're gonna rub with your palms, back side of your hands, interlying your fingers, doing your knuckles, thumbs, fingertips. If you have extra, don't forget your wrists. Rub it all in, and then you're gonna grab from behind your ear and you're gonna pull off. Never should you be touching the front of your mask. If there's any contaminants, it's gonna be on the front of your mask. So when you're out and about in public, your mask gets itchy and you wanna try and move it around, like just deal with the itch. Because as soon as you start touching your face, well now whatever's on your face is all over your gloves. You might go touch your ear, you might touch your forehead, you're just wiping germs all over. So never ever touch the front of your mask. That's why a lot of people don't want general public wearing masks, because they go like this and they touch their face and they itch their nose and they move it around. Well, now you're just smearing everything. If you're not wearing gloves and you've touched your face and then with your mask on, you take your mask off, but you don't wash your hands, well, whatever's on your mask is on your hands. It's everywhere.
Another thing too is, you know, if you have like your grocery list on your cell phone or something like that, you know, you're going through the grocery store, you have your gloves on, your mask on and everything, and then you start either get a phone call from whoever or you're checking your list to make sure that you got everything. You got to keep in mind that now that you've touched your phone with your gloves kind of thing, you have that cross-contamination. So it's another thing to ensure that you're looking after too.
Yeah, and when you go to like clean your phones or clean any surfaces that you've touched, make sure to read the sanitization. Like lots of people are using Lysol wipes, but they don't realize that unless the Lysol wipe has a certain amount of fluid on it, like cleaning fluid, you have to wipe down your materials and then let it sit for a certain amount of time. And it says right on like Lysol wipe bottles or like the Percept ones, they're 5 minutes, Lysol wipes is 4 minutes. If you wipe off your phone and then go like this to wipe it off, well, it did nothing. There's no point of even wiping your phone because you've just wiped the cleaning solution off and it's no longer actively trying to kill everything. You have to let it just sit there and air dry.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. One thing I do want to just talk about really quick. I'm not sure who uses Site Docs out there, but if your organization uses a digital-based reporting program, such as Site Docs or an equivalent, please feel free to contact them for some additional resources or forms in relation to COVID-19. Site Docs, for example, has uploaded some forms in their inactive sections, such as a COVID self-assessment, properly sanitizing equipment, office and vehicles, worker contact logs, and modified COVID hazard assessment. If you'd like a printout of these forms, I'll be adding them to the Facebook page in the near future. This is a very unique time for all of us. I know that the challenges we're facing will definitely leave an imprint on our daily operations. However, as grim as everything is now, we will take these rotten old lemons and further reinforce our safety programs. Before I turn things over to Curtis to discuss some updates from the SCSA, I would like to mention that one of the purposes of this meeting is to open a dialogue for everyone attending to bring comments or concerns to the SCSA board. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, so as a follow-up to this meeting, you'll have a chance to voice your concerns or comments in several ways. You can either message the Facebook page directly for any unanimous message. I will post a follow-up survey for this meeting on the Facebook page as well. If you don't have a Facebook profile,
Wow.
Facebook profile, Curtis will be sending out a survey link to all the members' email distribution list afterwards as well too. All right, thanks, honey.
I'm done.
That's it. That's it for you. Okay, well, I'm going to mute myself and I'll let Curtis take the wheel here.
For sure. Thanks, Corey. Thanks, Hailey. I'd also like to introduce Jeremie too. Jeremie's our co-chair for the RSC. So I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with Jeremie, but Jeremie works for RNF. I don't know if you want to do a quick little introduction for yourself, let everybody know who you are and everything, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Sure. Sounds good. Well, you kind of introduced me for me, but Jeremie Lavoie, I work with RNF Ventures. I'm currently administrating our health and safety program, and we're tackling this whole COVID thing together. So like Curtis said, I'm currently the co-chair for this RSC and happy to be here.
Right on. Thanks, Jeremie. Yeah, so as it's been said, I'm Curtis Praud, safety advisor with the SCSA, covering the Prince Albert and North region. So quite a big region, very proud to be part of this region. How far we've came with this RSC and now being the first ones to do a online RSC meeting, I think it's very cool. With that being said as well, the SCSA has really stepped up their game in regards to dealing with COVID-19, all the resources that we're offering right now to our members. And not only the resources on our website, which we have a bunch on there to help companies deal with this. We also, every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. in the mornings, we're doing webinars called Ask the SCSA. So if anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask the SCSA, like I said, Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m., you can get a hold of me or the SCSA, and we can get you in touch with how to log on to those. And they are Zoom meetings as well. With the virtual stuff happening right now and everything going online, meetings, training.
I remember that little one did the same thing.
Oh, somebody, can we get all the mics muted just for a bit, just to make sure we got no there we go. Okay, so just to further what we're doing for online training, for online meetings and whatnot, the SCSA has actually now just started to introduce some of our training classes that we are offering online. So on April 21st, so today, we're doing our first confined space respiratory protection course. Then tomorrow we have safety management, which would be April 22nd. April 23rd, we have contractor training. April 28th, we have safety admin. And April 29th, we have OHC level 1. You can sign up for all those courses via our website. So, or you can get a hold of the SCSA. We are all still working. So if you call the office, you will be transferred to somebody and they will gladly help you out and get you booked in for any courses you might need. And just, we're there to help you out. So we are all, one of the other aspects we're doing is we're looking at fine tuning our training. So we have started doing a fall protection survey. Okay, so with this survey, we're asking select companies a few questions as to what you would like to see in our training. So if you would like to know more about that, there's a few people on this panel right now that have gone through that questionnaire. I can put that questionnaire, or sorry, I can, if you're interested in knowing that questionnaire, going through that questionnaire, just get a hold of me. And if you have input that you'd like to give to further our fall protection course, please let me know, and we can make that work. Another really good resource, and Corey, I do believe, is going to put it in our comment section, is the SCSA is very proud of this one. It's gone through Merit, the SCA, the Regina and region, the Saskatoon and region, WorkSafe, CF, CSA, all those organizations have got together and put together what's called the Standardized Protocol for Saskatchewan. Okay, so what this document is it's an outline. It outlines the best practices for construction sites in order to maintain the health and safety of all workers during COVID-19. So it is, I'm very proud to say this document, we have it and we're offering it to all companies. I would highly recommend that companies have a look at this. If you have any questions or concerns with COVID-19, if you have any unanswered questions, you're not sure of how to deal with certain things on site, I'd highly recommend looking at that document. Yeah, and we'll put it in our comment section, or I do believe it's on our website to have, or shoot me an email, curtisp@scsaonline.ca, and I'd be glad to send that off to you. Like Corey said, right now, NAOSH has been put on hold, so we're not able to go any further with NAOSH right now. So we're just kind of taking ideas, I think, as of right now. Is that correct, Corey and Jeremie? Just some ideas that, you know, we kind of threw some ideas out there of how can we help industry right now? You know, so if we're not doing a barbecue, what are some aspects that we can do? Or, you know, maybe we want to do a summer kickoff or end of summer or end of COVID-19 barbecue. I'm not sure, but maybe we'll look at putting something together. If anybody has any feedback, please feel free to let us know, and we'd like to put something in place, start something. I know there's a lot of unknowns right now, but it's always nice to be optimistic and look forward to the future. And, you know, if we put something in place in a few months and it doesn't get there, then so be it. We'll move it forward and keep planning for the future instead of kind of dwelling on what's happening. Let's be optimistic and start putting something positive in place. So yeah, that's kind of what I got in regards to the SCSA and kind of what we're doing right now. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of the where we've come and where we're at right now from what it was a few weeks ago. So yeah.
We are the only one in Saskatchewan right now that is doing RSC meetings.
That's right.
We're the first ones to do this Zoom.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting. There was quite a few RSCs that were looking at it. They potentially didn't know, you know, where to go with it and how to do it, you know, how to deal with it, how to present it, things like that. So yeah, being the first RSC to be doing this in Saskatchewan, it's a huge pat on the back for everybody involved with the PA RSC. And I really can't thank you all enough for coming and being part of this meeting. And dealing with any hiccups that might come, we'll get through it and we'll go further with it. Absolutely.
I just like to mention, I added a couple links into the chat. There's one that's the BC CSA resources page. They got a lot of great info on there for, you know, posters or self-assessments and different tools and resources that way of COVID-19. Also the SCSA, I put the SCSA's link on there for their link to all their resources for COVID-19 as well. Mm-hmm. As well as I put in there, I don't know how it's going to work for everybody if they could just click on it and download it, but it's the standardized protocols that Curtis was talking about is also in the chat. For anybody that's watching this video at a later date, like if you're watching this off of our Facebook page, all these links I will be adding into the comments. So you can click on those links in the comments, and then the standardized protocol, I don't know if I could add that file to Facebook. If you message the Facebook page, I'll send it to you. Just send me your email and I'll get you that document.
Perfect. So there's a comment from Kim here. Nice to know we are staying connected. As organizations, we're all doing our best to help staff. Mental health seems to be a big conversation. Absolutely. That's huge. That's everybody's, I shouldn't say everybody. A lot of people don't know how to deal with this. A lot of people are not used to being stuck inside all day. Working from home is extremely hard. If you have kids running around, I know myself, I'm working at home, my wife's working at home, plus we have our 2 young kids running around. It has made the day-to-day life extremely challenging. Trying to get your work done, as well as trying to be a teacher, cooking for your kids. I thought we would be saving money. That's not the case. My kids aren't in daycare anymore. We're putting there's 4, 5, 6 snack times a day now, and then I got lunches and all that kind of stuff to go on top of it. So very, very good point, Kim. We need to be on top of mental health right now more than ever. It is so important. I've done something myself. I've actually started just reaching out to people in my contacts on my phone that maybe I haven't talked to in a year or even 2. And I've reached out and just called these people and said, how are you doing? Are you okay? We haven't talked in a while. What a better time to catch up than now? And I believe that helped quite a few people that I've called. And people that I've called have actually done that themselves. They've just reached out to people that they haven't talked to in a long time, just to help with their mental health. Because you never know. You could see the happiest person in the world on the outside, but when they go home, things change. So yes, staying in contact, knowing that there's resources out there for you for your mental health. You're not alone. The SCSA does have a couple of resources in regards to mental health that you can check out, but definitely reach out. Talk to people. As employers, please talk to your employees. Let them know that there's resources out there for them. If you're confused or you don't know about resources, somebody will be able to help you out. So thanks, Kim. But yeah, check out the website.
Just to add on to that, I know that Bridges Health has got some really great resources as well too.
Perfect.
There's lots of webinars and webcasting that they've been doing. I've jumped into a couple of their programs and they're really beneficial.
Right on. I just had a question come into me privately. Are C-Core and Core audits still being conducted? We are not conducting Core audits right now as of yet. We have just rolled out that the SCSA can conduct C-Core audits, but those will be done remotely. So what will happen is that company, if you are a C-Core company due for an audit, you'll call program services, they'll set you up with the audit, and then they'll talk you through how that's going to work for your company, how you're going to upload your program, your documents to a program, and then the auditor will be able to audit from home. So if you are a C-Core company out there wanting your audit done, please contact the SCSA and we can walk you through the process and help you through that if that's something you're needing. We also are, we're well aware of what's going on right now. So we have all the Core companies right now that potentially are needing audits done. We've recognized that and we are offering extensions, but please contact the SCSA for your extension, just so we know what's happening and where you're at with your audit process. And kind of the same thing goes with most of that stuff as well. So yeah. What else do I got? Yep, all our resources are on the webpage. Again, I just got another question, mental health resources. Check out our website. That is tons of resources on there. I think, Corey, you were talking about the BCCSA, is that correct? They had some pretty good resources on their website that people can have a look at?
Yeah, on the BCCSA website, their resources page, they've got, they have kind of like webcasting as well too. So they have videos of live video conferencing. enhanced surface cleaning and disinfection, employer COVID-19 site inspection, hazard assessment and control, pandemic hand washing station for construction sites, what if physical distancing is not possible, guidance to construction sites operating during COVID-19. They got lots of different things on here. There's also some posters as well too, so you can have proper hand washing if you want to print out of how to properly hand wash to print off and put over top of the sink. There's things like that as well too. Yeah, they're really great. The BC CSA's website and the chat log there. For the SCSA, the COVID-19 safety protocols for Saskatchewan, as well as, let me just see here. Yeah, there's different resources page, sorry. We got webinars, self-assessment tool, when workers should not be at work, right to refuse unsafe work, general tips for protection. Yeah, they got lots of resources on here. Actually, I'm gonna update that link. I found a better one here for the SCSA. Sorry, I'm just gonna re-add that in there.
Thanks, Corey.
Yeah, you bet.
Maybe we should open the floor up for discussion. I'm getting a few questions in right now, privately, anonymously. So if there is any questions that anybody has, I do believe, Corey, have you given each person access to their mic? Is that right? Or would you prefer that questions come through chat?
I could unmute all. Yeah,
Okay.
that's not a big deal.
Yeah, we'll start the discussion. So the one question I have here, as a company, how can I ensure I'm covering due diligence with some safety topics coming unhinged, such as how to sign documents without sharing paper and pen? Wow, that's a great question. Everybody could have their own pen, so we'll start there. Potentially, we could have each person has their own document, okay? Or it could be a, like Corey said, you can do things through site docs. So there is ways of digitally having your signatures on there. Even just having one person make a list of all the people that are in attendance. So maybe we get away from signatures, but we write the names of the attendees on that form to show that they've been in attendance. It could be as simple as an email, okay, an email signature. So you send the email off and then read it, sign it, send it back as an attachment that you've read and signed that document, or not signed, but read that document. You're a part of that document. So do you have anything to add to that, Corey?
No, sorry, I was just thinking that I wanted to mention Can-Am Health and Safety is no longer doing respiratory or spiral something. What is it? Respiratory? Spiral something testing. Is some of the pre-qualifications for some of the sites to go to. They stopped doing those testing. They're still doing a urinalysis and breath alcohol levels and all that, but they're not doing the respiratory. I just wanted to mention that in case somebody has some projects that's requiring that for a free access.
Mm-hmm. Another one here too that that could have actually slipped through a lot of people's minds was on April 28th. That's a very important day in construction for everybody. Thanks again, Kim, for that further reminder.
Yeah.
This is a national day of mourning. So with what happened in Nova Scotia, it makes it even more real, like Kim said. Colleagues have been lost at the moment. Take a moment to remember them. Okay, we all know somebody that's been hurt or severely injured or worse on the job site. We've all been a part of something in regards to that. So April 28th, that's their day. That's our day to remember all these people that really have helped further rules in construction. So yeah, taking that day to remember everybody that works in construction, how far we've come, and how far we need to go. So yeah, take some time on that day, especially with what's happened in Nova Scotia.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to unmute all the microphones here. So if we can have this kind of an open conversation, maybe some networking here. So I'm gonna mute.
I just have one more question here. After COVID is done, will the SCSA continue with virtual classroom? It would be companies far out It would companies far out of the major centers get, it'd help companies far out get, of the major centers get training. So yes, as far as I am aware, we will be continuing with our training online. This is something that we've been looking at doing for a long time, and it's now just given us the push to get it started and put it through. So again, very exciting.
Yeah, I know. I got one coworker that I'm going to be putting through the NCSO program. So those dates, I've been talking with Curtis and getting the online training, the classroom portion anyway, through a digital meeting.
Yeah. Okay, we'll open the floor to anybody that has any questions or concerns.
It's Keith here at RNF. I've got just a few other resources that we found fairly useful. The SCA itself has, and they're working with the SCSA and other organizations on this. They do town halls, virtual town halls occasionally. They're not really regular to schedule, I don't think. But I do know that there was one last Friday that was recorded that had some really, it was around mental health. If you go to their website, you can click on that and watch the recording of the town hall or of the Zoom meeting. And there was some really good stuff on mental health. There is, I just saw it here the other day and I haven't been there yet, but there is a www.covid19.sask, which is supposedly the new website for construction in Saskatchewan. It was on the SCA, last SCA newsletter. I haven't had a chance to go there yet, but they're referring to there as the COVID Resource Center. And then the other thing for people in Prince Albert is the Prince Albert Chamber of Commerce has started doing virtual coffee meetings. And they're doing them about once a week. And it's just a really good opportunity, number one, for mental health. You get to talk to some other folks and also see people in your industry and other industries that maybe have some challenges they're dealing with or some ideas around COVID. So, they're fun to participate in. The last one wasn't very well attended, but I think it's going to gain some momentum because it is an opportunity to talk and see people. So just a few things that I've run across.
Yeah, one more site, if you guys can hear me, I sent it to Corey here a minute ago, is Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety has started a sharing site where companies of all stripes can put submissions in, and then anybody else who would benefit from it can then access it from that one site.
I just put that link up in the chat. Where you there, Gord?
Yeah, they won't accept everything. They are vetting things to make sure they're good before they'll post them. But it is an opportunity to share basically across Canada on some best practices.
One thing I'm going to mention too is if you go onto the YouTube, the SCA has a YouTube channel. I know that I have been in several of their webinars and their meetings, virtual meetings and town halls. They had one for residential and one for non-residential town halls, and all those meetings are recorded and they're posted on their YouTube channel. So that's a really great place to find some info as well. I got another comment here from Kim. Left a link. Big Daddy Taz speaks about mental health stigma. Laugh and cry together. Mental health, again, mental health is one of the big ones here.
Yeah, it's huge. That's like, I'm very happy that you brought that up, Kim, because it does slip everybody's mind. Absolutely. And whether you know, whether we recognize it or not, everybody's dealing with it. Yeah.
I participated this morning in a mining and meteorological conference through Zoom that the Ontario Northern folks put on, and Big Daddy Taz was the headliner, and they played a YouTube video that he had done some time ago, And then he joined the conference live and answered questions, and it was really good to laugh. One of the key messages that he brings out is, you know, his son said, you know, Daddy, when you laugh, it doesn't hurt as much. So try it out. I think you'll enjoy it.
Right on. Thanks, Kim. That's great. Just another thing to touch on too, that I with all the conversations I've had in the past few weeks, the construction industry has done such an amazing job with addressing the health aspect of health and safety that it's phenomenal how fast we have adapted to the changes that have been thrown at us in this industry. And the fact that we're still working, I think says leaps and bounds about everybody in construction industry. You know, going from all the way at the top, all the way to the bottom, everybody's doing their part. I have talked to a few employers that have actually taken advantage of this as well with furthering their program. Okay, so just with talking to them, you know, they might have had a little bit of backlash, you know, maybe things are a little bit hard with implementing their program, keeping up with progress. Now more than ever, employees and workers are engaged. They understand how important this is now. So now really is a good time to continue rolling out that safety program, continue evolving your program now that the buy-in is there. Okay, it does make things easier. And I don't mean run out there and start yelling at everybody, but you know, continue that process. Now more than ever, we need to ensure that people are not getting hurt. We need to keep our workers out of the emergency rooms, out of the healthcare system. So now more than ever, we need to continue with safety, even more so. You know, we don't need that guy going in there with a cut hand with, you know, for stitches when we might need that nurse taking care of, you know, somebody that has respiratory problems, is infected with the virus. Now more than ever, the stuff, you know, we need to make sure that we're keeping our employees safe, and more so than ever. So I don't know what everybody else is seeing in regards to construction right now. We got a lot of leaders in the meeting right now, so I'm not sure how it looks for you guys, but just for the companies I've talked to, it's been you know, pulling the positive out of the negative. That's one of the positives of it, is now things are furthering on with a lot of safety programs that might have been struggling beforehand.
Curtis, that was that's a really good point, and that's probably, I know at higher level that was one of the considerations that allowed construction to continue to work when other industries were being shut down. One of the considerations that was taken provincially was that our industry is viewed as an industry that is used to working around safety and safety restrictions, and I know at a higher level it was felt that we would be able to continue to work with protocols in place because our people are used to working with certain protocols in place all the time. And it speaks well to our industry that we were able to continue to work because of that. The other side of that is we need to continue to be diligent on site, because if that changes, it would not take much to stop and shut down the industry. So, and that is a message we've passed on to our guys on site, that, you know, we're a bit on a pedestal here right now, and it's really, really important that you guys continue to do what you always do, plus the additional things we've asked you to do around COVID. But it speaks well to for our industry, for sure.
That's exactly right. And I never thought about that point as well. If you are working, there's a very good chance there's a lot of eyes on you with the guys that aren't working. So there's that aspect as well. Yeah, I can say I'm very proud. I'm very impressed the way construction has just adapted, and we're able to carry through this and keep everybody safe. It's just amazing. And I think everybody needs a pat on the back just to sit back, take a breath, and go, you know what? As of right now, things are going pretty good. It's optimistic. We all know that can turn around quick. So even though things are going better right now, we can't let that slide more than ever. We need to continue what we're doing. it's a matter of time. It takes one whoops, one time where you go, you know what, it's just Easter. I'm going to go see I'll just go see my mom. And then next thing you know, that's when something happens. And we've had that happen close here north of Prince Albert. We've all saw firsthand how fast that can take off and how detrimental it is. If you are, you are carrying that virus and you do go out in the public, it travels so fast. And I think Hailey can speak a little bit on that as well. And I don't know if you want to touch on that as well. I don't know the numbers of how fast this travels and whatnot, but it is fast. And I've seen it internally with friends that have said, yeah, it's Easter. I'm going to go have a quick supper and then I'm going to go back into hibernation after that. No, it doesn't work that way. I don't know if you want to touch on that, Hailey.
The virus can withstand living on surfaces for up to 10 days. And this isn't like optimal surfaces. This is all surfaces. Like, it lives a lot longer on stainless steel than plastic. And how much stainless steel do we have everywhere? So, especially with the industry, like for construction, a lot of you guys do lots of camp work and all that. It's kind of nice for healthcare workers to see that people are actually addressing situations. And now that it's a thing, and it's hitting kind of everyone. We haven't had this in years, like since the Spanish flu or H1N1 or SARS. It kind of makes everyone stop and think like, oh, like this could, like if we had another one of these and we're all in camp and everyone gets it, that you could be down like 100 and some people. Whereas healthcare, we know all this is why we wash our hands, this is why we dress up, this is why this is contact precautions, this is why it's this, and it just takes that one person. So it's kind of nice that there's people out there like starting to address it in other industries other than health, because then it helps keep healthcare workers and like the province health sector dealing with what we actually need to deal with. So if everyone's putting in their part and, like you're telling the guys, like, I made the solution, I want you to spray all your tools at the end of the day. So when you start the next day or whatever, then at least the tools are sanitized. They're not passing around germs because, oh, can you hand me your pliers or can you hand me this? Like everyone's kind of participating in keeping everybody safe and healthy. And it's not just us against the world right now. It's like everybody else is participating. And I hope after this is done, certain procedures do stay in place, because we always worry about the cuts in industry or the falls or the near misses, but you never think about the pathological things that can happen. Like, we have these pathogens in the world, but they're put aside until they become a big thing. And to prevent it becoming a big thing, we should take certain precautions. Like every time you enter a place, you wash your hands, and then you come in with a clean slate. You're not bringing any bacteria, nothing like that. If you're sick, you wear a mask if that's what they say. It just helps protect everyone. Like, nobody says you can't go to work because you have a cold, other than right now, but you don't want to give everyone a cold. So then you're losing guys because they're all off because they all have a cold. Well, if you have a cold, you know what? Here's a mask. You're feeling fine, you're not fevered, you're good to work, but you're coughing. Just put this mask on, wear it for the day, change it at your break times, but don't be coughing in other workers' faces, or on the tools or whatever. So
Absolutely.
It's just really nice to see that it's not just the healthcare people that are actually caring about the things that people don't see.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Is there any other questions or comments or anything anybody else would like to bring up? It looks like we have about 10 minutes left in our hour RSC. Is there anything else that anybody would like to present? Nothing? Crickets? That's fine. A lot of times this is maybe people don't want to speak up. You can put questions into our chat box at the bottom here. So if you do want to ask questions, I do believe you can ask privately or anonymously. Kim says, when do we get lunch?
Skip the dishes. Eh?
Yeah, skip the dishes. I'll be making some smokies right away if you want.
There we go. Yeah.
But yeah, like all the conversations I've had with a lot of people, that's very few are not concerned, if that makes sense, right? There's very few. Everybody is taking this very seriously. It's pretty neat to see. I do have to say.
I know that all the camp jobs, I mean, like the cafeterias, they're only allowing one person per table at some sites. You know, they're changing their shift, which is something I wanted to talk about really quick. Is if you are working, especially like the residential commercial sectors, if you're working around other contractors, other trades, you know, keeping that social distancing is such a challenge. You know, there's people just crammed into a room to get the building done. Talk about, you know, maybe switching up your shifts a little bit, you know, trying to alternate shift times, shift patterns, you know, that you can kind of get away from all the other folks and do the work that you need to do at a different time for them. But it's worth a conversation with the other contractors or the other trades, you know, seeing if maybe you can make some arrangement. I know we've had that in some of our commercial projects that we're shift changing with the other trades. Just to touch on what Curtis was saying too, if anybody has any questions or anything like that, this Facebook page that we have now, I started it yesterday, so it's live now. So if you do have any questions or if you wanted to get updates on anything that's involved with the RSC, we're going to just message the Facebook page and just like the page so you can receive notifications of things that are going to come up. And share it with everybody that you have in your industry. It's the best way to I know the other I think it's the Estevan RSC. They do everything through their Facebook page when it comes to even just scheduling the meetings. You know, like their RSC meetings, they do everything through the Facebook page. So I think that's a great idea. I think it's really beneficial, and it maybe reaches everybody a lot faster. You know, doing something like that.
Right on. Jeremie, do you have anything to add with everything going on? I know you're taking notes and listening and everything like that. Is there anything you'd like to add with in regards to anything we've covered, or add any comments or questions or concerns?
I don't know about necessarily adding anything. You know, we're a couple weeks into this. I think everybody's quite well educated with this, even though it's an ongoing situation and things change day to day. But like Keith had mentioned about those town hall meetings, a lot of the things we implement on site come from those town halls, virtual town halls, direction from SCSA, direction from World Health Organization. I don't know. It's just like I said, day by day, take extra precaution. You can't be too safe.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. I don't know what else to say about it.
No, you know what? You covered another good point. Getting your information from a reputable resource. Don't be following things on Facebook. Don't be taking stuff on Twitter for granted or as gospel. Just look at your resources and where you're getting it from. The WHO, we got the Saskatchewan.ca. I do believe, was it Keith just said COVID-19.sask is what is a website. And then our government websites. So don't be deviating off of those as much as you can, because there's going to be a lot of fear mongering out there. Make sure you're getting your information from a reputable resource, and don't be feeding into the fear and the misfortune of others. Just make sure that you're following proper resources and protocols, and yeah. You want to open it one more time for questions and concerns or anything that anybody wants to bring up? No?
I have one thing.
Sure.
Right now, Saskatchewan's doing really good. We're starting to, you know, flatten the curve. They are talking about opening up certain businesses again and letting people go out and releasing people into the world again. But with that being said, they are feeling that we might have a second wave, according to lots of the emails we've been getting. And And even the government is stating that once they open up, they're going to be monitoring. So once isolation has gone down a bit and you are able to go out again, just because it's now you're able to leave your house, don't flock out.
Don't take it for granted.
No, because what happened in Manitoba was they were getting down to only like 1 or 2 a day. They opened up businesses again, and then they got a big boom right after, because they were down to, I think when they opened, they had 1 for a couple days. So it seems minimal. But then people start going out, they're touching things, everybody starts flocking to the stores. Like, until we get 0 a day for a few days, I would, still self-isolate as much as you can. Like, if you want to go for groceries, if there's something like, again, for mental health sake, say you want a puzzle or something, go out, buy your puzzle, get home, wash your hands, that kind of thing. Like, don't take that for granted, because they do expect a second wave with the relaxation of isolation.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing information, actually. And
Yeah.
Very, very good point.
And like, we do have 316 positives, but only 70 are activated, like actively positive right now. The majority are recovered. So it does seem like a small number. Like, yes, it's 300 in the big sense, but we only have 70 in the whole province that are actively positive and following the isolation, all that. If you see those numbers, you're like, oh, well, there's only 70 people. I can go out and do things. Again, if you're choosing to do that, just remember, wash your hands. If you're coughing to your elbow, that kind of thing, runny nose, well, wash your hands before you touch anything, so that we don't increase it again and then we're stuck on isolation longer.
Oh, Corey, I think you froze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it a couple seconds here.
Audio as well?
Okay.
Or just
Good. You're good now. We're back
Okay.
on.
what did you catch the last of what Hailey was saying there? Did the audio freeze, or is it just
The audio froze. The whole thing froze.
Oh, okay. She was just saying how awesome I am.
Yeah. Okay.
But that is, yes, you're right. Like I said earlier, it's just because we're kind of flattening out doesn't mean that things can go back to normal. It's still there. It's still active. It's still live. We need to continue doing what we're doing. Okay, we're just about done here. There's just a couple things I want to go over. Tomorrow is officially Administrative Professional Day. Thank your admin. They are very important and crucial to all organizations. They do a job I would never want. Okay, they're very important. So, bring them a donut, bring them a coffee, send them a hi or a wave through Facebook, whatever it might be. No, wait, don't bring them a coffee or donut. I was waiting for Jeremie to catch it. Come on, Jeremie. But thank them. Reach out, give them a thanks. Like I said, they're doing stuff that I wouldn't want to do. And it's not an easy job dealing with public and people and bookings and all that kind of stuff. So they have a very big, busy job. Just to end this on my side, I know personally this took a toll at first, but now I have moved in to this whole process at home, and I am loving it. I have never spent so much quality time with my family in my life. We go for walks, we play games, we draw. My TV's never on. So I really encourage everybody to take this time. We live in a very busy world. We now have a chance to slow down and spend time with loved ones at home and enjoy it, and take in that time with your kids. They're only going to be young for a little while. So yeah, enjoy the weather, have fun, and stay safe and social distance, and make sure you're keeping clean and hygiene and washing hands. And, if you're sick, stay home. If you have any doubt about any symptoms you have, please call 811. Do not go to the hospital. Do not go to the healthcare. Call 811 and they will take care of you from there. Okay, thanks everybody for coming. Hopefully this next meeting will be in person, so let's bank on that. Hopefully I'll see everybody at the golf and curling club or wherever we have it and enjoy a breakfast. If not, this is a perfect platform. It still works.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
we've just proven it. So everybody have a great rest of their week, and we'll keep in touch. And thanks again, Hailey, for giving us that presentation and giving us your professional opinion on everything. We really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.